What's up? Alright, good evening guys. Trust you're all good. Yeah. Today's Thursday. Let's check what the market is doing. Alright. Let's check what the market is doing. Alright. So now, gold of course, as usual. So currently I'm buying on gold. I'm holding the buy on gold and I'll be holding this gold for this buy all through tomorrow except stop loss takes me off. Except that I'll be holding this buy all the way back to this point. Now, why am I taking this buy? I think I need to clear off my chart points, quite a lot of markings here. There is a lot of trading going because you have to mark a lot. So let me just show you why I'm taking this buy. Alright, so if you can see, based on just plainly price action, this zone is a very interesting zone. The zone we are currently, alright, this is it. I'm saying it's a very interesting zone because I'm coming, guys. There's some out trade. Whatever market does in the past, it has the ability of doing it again. Alright, and that is exactly the scenario we are currently now. Alright. Sometimes back gold was here. I mean here, look at. I'm gonna just use normal price action to explain this, guys. Second touch, it keeps dropping. Then we had this breakout that push market all the way to this point. Then it trades back to this zone. Then boom to the upside. Now, what is interesting about all this line I'm drawing? This is interesting because this zone, based on normal market structure, was initially a resistance. Now it's acting as a support, right? It's acting as a support, and that is exactly why I'm taking this buy at this point in terms of market structure, just market structure, right? That is exactly why I'm taking that buy at that point because this is a support zone for gold, and gold should kind of take a buy from this zone back to the upside. Now, come to think of, now I'm talking about this zone right here, guys. Talking about this zone right here, right? Talking about this zone all the way back. You see that acting as a strong zone for gold, all right? And don't forget that gold trades within zones. Gold trades within zones, and yeah, it trades in zones. All right. So based on my strategy, demand and supply, replacement, blah blah blah. Yeah, let me just show you what I saw that made me to wait for this entry. By the way, this is for 5 minutes time frame. You see that gold has been trading between this zone for a while, and of course, most of the time, come to this point, 50, 60. Eventually, it might tap into this 50, 60. Yeah, I think if it does, I'm still going to take a buy. I'll eat SL on this and still take a buy from this point, no problem. I'm much more okay with this zone because that was where our nearest demand zone was. The market just mitigated it, right? This is our demand zone here. Let me mark it out. This is our demand zone. These are these points, our demand zone. Market is currently at that zone. Now, why did I wait for the trade to be under that zone before it took it? This is a liquidity here. We had a kind of liquidity at this point, selling on this zone. And I waited for that liquidity grab, and that was why I entered at this point. Why? I still have my second entry at 75 zone there, but around 65. Yeah, yeah. So kind of let's say fill up on this trade, and I'm just gonna hold it and allow it right back to the at least to the about 1,000 people. So, and based on price action, this from this zone, gold is supposed to go back to the upside. But of course, you know that the war tensions and all that stuff will affect market movement and all of that, right? So anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen. I'm not much of a swing trader. I'm a day trader, but when I see such opportunities, sometimes I try my best to hold on to it and not just miss out on opportunities. Alright, so I'm taking this buy. I'm gonna be holding it for long. So make room for another entry at 50.61 because market might still come and tap into it during the ACR session open. It's very possible. Just exactly what happened during the night yesterday. Market might come and tap into that zone before buying aggressively to the upside. Right, but I feel we should hold this zone the more, right? I feel we should hold this zone the more. So I'm very okay with this trade right now, except otherwise. So if you can take this trade with me, you can join. You can join. You can just ride into it already, and let's take it to the upside. Let's push it, guys. Of course, you have to risk very wisely. Don't put all your egg in the basket at once. So make sure you risk very wisely. We are supposed to use 0.05 entry, for instance. I just divide it into 0.02, 0.02, then yeah, you go that way. Instead of just jumping in all at once, right? So that is exactly what I'm doing on this trade. And this zone in particular is quite a strong one for gold. So I do expect we should see a bounce back from this point. Otherwise, it will fall back into this zone as well. I have a limit. I told my team to set a limit at this point already, 75 for another buy. So it's very possible that we'll take another buy for we see another buy from that point. But from today, Asia session slash tomorrow being the end of the week, holding up for a buy on gold. In fact, holding it till weekend. I mean, till market open on Sunday. Right. I'm holding it till market open on Sunday, and that market opening sometimes has become the, the gold where the money is these days, right? Because of the gaps that two forms, but it could backfire, by the way. It could backfire because of fundamentals, tensions of wars, and all that stuff, right? And it's been crazy these days that fundamentals are just the one controlling the market, and technical really do. Yeah, it does align with technical too, but it's not kind of so much certainty like it used to be. Right? If this was on an ordinary day, I would confidently enter this trade without any iota of doubt. Yeah, as much as I am right now, yes, but for this, there could still be a little bit of that because of the news and all of that stuff, the fundamentals. Trump could just release the news right now and everything turned upside down. Everything turns upside down. So anything can happen. But I think I'm okay, and yeah, I think I'm just cool and chill with this. Alright, so I'm holding on to this trade. You can join, you can wait for entries at 75 if you wish. But for me, I think I'm cool with this entry. I'm just gonna hold it all the way. Just gonna hold it all the way, right? So you can join us now. Take this buy. So this is what we might see on gold. Okay. Possible scenarios we might see on gold for this particular buy. Possible scenarios we might see is this. We break out of this zone, come to this point, come back to this zone. Even sometimes it might even come back uh, down to this point and come to this zone. Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm expecting on gold. That's kind of what I'm expecting on gold, right? To the upside, that's what I'm kind of expecting on gold, but I might see otherwise by having a drop first or we have a buy to the upside like this. Something like this. A drop to this point, take it to the upside, bring it back, then boom to the upside. So see that of these guys. So whichever way you might just want to wait for the one your account can hold or your psychology level can hold, right? So but of course I'm all in regardless of how this plays out. I'm all in guys. I'm all in guys. It's not complicated to understand this chart, guys. It's not complicated. It's not very complicated. Of course, most people say, "Oh, this is just a downtrend." Of course, their market is selling. Of course, market has been selling since morning as buys within the zones. I think I took it around this point, 50. Took it around this point. Almost gave me 200 people and sold into a sell. Alright, so yeah, a lot's been happening on the chart, but we should see this as a clear move to the upside, regardless of how it happens. This zone is a very interesting zone, by the way. Lot of liquidities hanging inside this zone, inside this box, between this and this. So I don't think there's any news this night, by the way. Let me check it out. Forest factory. I don't think there's any news, by the way. So today is Thursday. It's Thursday. Yeah? Clear up all the news for today. So now this is it. At market open, we might see some of these things playing out. But this is for 8 a.m. Thereabout. You guys doesn't really have any major news tomorrow. Just this 3 p.m. job openings. But let's see how this goes, guys. Regardless of the news, I think there's going to be a major move tomorrow, either to the downside or to the upside. There's going to be a major move. There's going to be a major move tomorrow. Alright, so I do expect a major move tomorrow, either to the upside or to the downside. So I'm just kind of trying to be positioned for that because for me, I don't expect any. I'm very much more optimistic about a buy to the upside, a buy back to the upside than having massive sales tomorrow. Massive sales could happen, don't doubt me, or don't get me wrong. It could happen all the way down to this point for buying back to the upside. But yeah, I think I'll be much more cool with the buy than the sell. So, and I hate selling good, of course. It's either I just hit SL, reposition myself, and go all in again. I prefer that kind of scenario than having to sell and then take out. I saw this move this morning, but guess what? I won't take it. I barely take sales on gold. I barely take sales on gold. Barely take sales on gold. So, much more with on this trade. Many things could happen. A sell, don't forget, if I see a sell down to this price below my SL, but I'm positioned for that. My SL is not big, by the way. It's just normal stuff because I use a very low lot size instead of going all in. So I'm using a very small lot size. By the time I can get to 75, I'm going to take another entry. At 75, another entry, then boom. It does come to this point, another entry as well, then allow it to write the upside. So that is how I do it. So you don't put all your eggs in a basket at once, right? You just have to play it safe. Gold could be crazy. Yeah, it's just the truth, guys. Gold could be very crazy. So if you haven't taken this trade yet, you can choose to ride it now, or you chill a little bit for this kind of formation to come out first, and you can just go all in. Yeah, I think this should happen. I think this should happen. I think this should happen. By the way, you can drop your observations in the comment section, in the chat box. Drop your observations, drop your questions. Let's talk together, guys. Drop your questions, your observations. So let's talk. Let's talk. Do you guys think otherwise, or do you think what is gonna do, or do you agree with what I'm having here? My PC is hitting up. What's wrong? Okay. Right. That is happening already. It's happening very fast. It's happening very fast. So 75 in a bit. So can you just join in by at 75? Right. I was just explaining this, guys. I was just explaining this. I was just explaining this. This is just happening right away. This is happening already. This is happening already. This is happening already. Okay. So we're gonna see a play inside this zone, guys. We're gonna see a play inside this zone. From this zone to this zone, right to 60 zone level. 61, yeah. We're going to see market play inside this zone, and anything that happens inside this zone still shows me for a buy. Except we have a strong break. Yeah, even though we get to this zone, it's still a buy for me because let me check. Yeah, I doubt that, but let's see how this goes. Guys. I'm still strong on my entry. I'm still holding strong. Still holding strong. So if you join the right, when you join it, when you join us. If you got the balls, guys, if you join us. If you don't, just chill up. Wait for market to drop and tap into 50-75 zone before you enter. But it's a long ride to the upside, guys. If this doesn't take us out, it's a long ride to the upside. It's worth it at the end of the day. At the end of the day, so it's worth it. Okay. I'm gonna be ending this live very soon. So if you got any questions, kindly ask us, ask questions. I mean to answer your questions. Alright guys, second few I just clicked. Second few I just clicked. 75 zone. 75 zone. So you can take another buy from this point. 75 zone. Exactly. So this is playing out instead. This is playing out sharp, 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 guys. This is playing out instead. This is what is playing out instead. Alright, so another buy we've got here. Another buy we've got here. Another buy. Same target, nothing changes. Nothing changes, guys. Same target, same target. Alright, same thing. 250 pips. Yeah. Same thing. So 75 entry is triggered already. 75 entry is triggered. 75, yeah. By the way, that was on the limit entry I had on my on 94, 95 rather. So let's see how this goes. Then the next entry will be this point, 61, 61 zone, guys. 61 zone. So let's see how that goes. If all these three entries now is SL, then I might just give up on this trade, this particular setup, right? And just wait for whatever happens tomorrow. Alright. So for now, holding on to this. Alright guys, this is happening faster than I thought. Happening faster than I thought, and yeah. Let's see how this holds. If this doesn't hold, then this setup is invalid and there is a loss. Right. But let's see. That makes us break below 46, 40, 47. Then this setup is, for me, you all can enter at this point then. But for me, I'm already on loss and just another entry at this point then. Right, if we break below this point. Alright, to break the other point. Now, I was expecting this to happen during the Asian section, but this is happening very fast. It's happening very fast, and I thought it's crazy. Truth is, no matter how much analyze markets always do it in the sell-offs are in it. Sell-offs are in it, yes. Like what I'm seeing right now. So, as stated earlier, that we're going to see plays around this zone to this zone, because look at same thing happen over here. But whatever makes us break below this point and get to this point, it means market is mitigating all this zone and then buying back to the upside. Alright, buying back to the upside from there. So let's see how this goes and ends. For someone that haven't taken this trade yet, this is a good entry for you. That's a good trade for you guys. Yeah, I'm just telling my team to take this buy from this zone now. Only tomorrow except TPX. Except SL rather. Except he catch up with SL on this. Otherwise, hold all the way, guys. Otherwise, I'm going to hold this all the way. Going to hold this all the way. Right. Alright. Let's see if this holds. So for me, that is the same thing that happened here. Pop back into it, up, outside, then came back to mitigate this point. I don't know if I just come to mitigate this zone completely right now or we just coming up. So let's see how it goes, guys. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So with this drop that happened now, I think we should have a push to the upside before market closes. And if that happens, it's gonna be an advantage for Asian session because that drop that will happen when market opens might not really affect us. Might not. So if this happens to be a liquidity close, the liquidity grab and all that stuff is has become a safe trade for us. So this is what we are working with right now. So working with. Let's say it goes. Let's say it goes. So you can take this by now if you haven't. Hmm, you can. If you are confident, it's not just the confidence. You have the capital to risk on this, right? Because, but at the end of the day, you do divide your funds, your entries rather. Don't enter all at once. Don't enter all at once. You buy at this point, then you buy at this point, like right to the upside. Imagine if I had entered all my liquid at this point. Coming down to this point is gonna be a disaster. Right? So it makes more sense when you risk wisely on trades. It makes more sense that way than risking all at once. Risking all your funds all at once. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay. Doesn't make sense. Alright. So you can take this by guys. I stated earlier that we're going to see market play inside this box from this point to this point. all the way to this point, right? So that's exactly what market is doing. Exactly what market is doing. So if we have a break below this point, then that means I'm out. I'm out. I'm out for good. I'm out. I might see a drop to 53. Okay. Let's say it goes like and by the way, I hate taking trades at this point of the night whereby market is so slow, no much volume in the market, like for real. Kind of I hate it. I don't see it well with me, but I took it free because the opportunity happens during this late hour and yeah, I don't want to miss it for anything. It's very tricky because Asian session used to come with some kind of drops before the buy. Sometimes we just buy aggressively to the upside. It's it's two ways, and for me, whatever happens, it's just market, and it's a win-win. It's a win-win. The loss will be painful, but it's all the lessons needs to be learned. And yeah, I'm just saying something, guys. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It's got a liquidity here, and I think that was why market came to this point right now. Even though I was expecting market to drop to this zone, but I didn't really pay attention to this liquidity at this point. I didn't really pay attention to it, and imagine market just tap into it and going back up. I hope it holds, right? So this is really trading, and you don't get angry with the market. The market is doing whatever, whatever, whatever. Just understand what market is doing. Some point market will pull back, retracement, stuff will just happen. Stuff will just happen. Now it's up to you whereby you don't risk all your capital at your first entry. Or you don't risk all your capital at just an entry in the market, right? If you do that, that is when you keep blaming gold that oh gold, gold, gold. Eventually tap you out, then go your way. You know the kind of stuff now. I've said it many times. Yeah, I still say it because it's crazy. Gold, gold does that a lot. Yeah, it just tap you out, then go to your direction. That happens because oftentimes we bet all on our POI. Oh, market will definitely respect this. So nothing is gonna happen. Yeah, blah blah blah. So confident about the market, and guess what? Gold will tell you and do otherwise, right? So oftentimes, based on experience, I don't go in all at once, especially. And the reason why I wouldn't have waited for this point was because I set this limit entry at this point all along since towards me towards this evening, and market tapping into it. I thought we were going to see a lot of push to the upside from it, but it happened late at night, and the momentum is dropping, the volume is on the market. Market is not really moving very fast and all of that stuff. And yeah, but let's say it goes. Let's say it goes. And DSY, what is that doing? What is DSY doing? DSY, okay, be buying. You know, this DSY is just playing around, just playing around. Breaking above this zone is crazy. Breaking above this zone is crazy. This might mean something else for gold. This might mean something else for gold. This might mean that we are coming into this zone, guys. Shit. This might just mean that we are coming to this zone. This might just be the case. Or where we are coming to a zone, market might just trace from that point. DSI content could be very, very dynamic and funny. But let's see how this goes. So DSI, we hope it does fall from this point, at least back to this point, for buying back to the upside. If it does happen and goes straight to the upside, maybe we are cooked, guys. Maybe we are cooked. Maybe we are cooked. Because whoever makes DSI to break above his points, they are definitely going to get to this point. And that is a long ride to the upside. That happening simply means continuous dump on gold. But let's pray and let's hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen, guys. Because I want to make money. I really want to make money. And no DSY is gonna stop me from that, guys. No DSY is gonna stop me from that. Yeah, I have to start telling some of this my chat. Looking quite cloudy. Uh, yeah, good. As I always say, go trade with me, so I don't joke with my zone. Cut my zones, and yeah, I kind of flow with it. Kind of flow with it, guys. Sometimes I leave them. I don't close. I don't delete them because it reminds me of where I'm coming from. The market is going. The market when I really get to and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna be handling this live now. My battery is kind of low. The PC battery is low. So you can hold it by except SL does take us out. Otherwise, it's gonna be a buy till tomorrow market close. Probably even leave it here. Except I don't know. Whatever market does, we don't know tomorrow, right? So good night, guys. For those in Nigeria, good night. To those all over the world, good night. Whatever time of the day you're watching this, good night. You have a lovely night rest. All right. Bye bye.